The good old days. Yes, we soon got rid of this old grumpy fella. And we brought in this sweet mon ami. She always used to wear tight... Oh, my first love. Mon ami. Anyway. Let's get on with it.
That was a great job you did last time you were here. Ready to come back for another round? I know the people in town will be glad to see you.
Well, actually, instead of boring aircraft, I thought we'd do the military missions. Let's get in with the aircraft carriers and the fighter jets. A little bit more action.
Gibson. I've heard good things about you.
Who? Moi?
You're ready for military training,
give over.
Make your way out to the Midway. We'll get you squared away. Welcome to Midway. No time for chatter. It's drone test day.
Tower, this is Eagle Squadron looking for landing coordinates.
Hello and welcome to another video from Paraplays VR. And this video, I'm going to be doing one of the military missions of the aircraft carriers for Final Approach, which is really quite a fun game when it first came out. This was definitely on my radar. And as you can see, I'm playing this in room scale. So if you'll excuse me while I just bring this jet fighter down, we shall have a little chat about Final Approach.
We just got a special delivery. Grab it with a helicopter and bring it up to the carrier deck.
Final Approach, I think for me, when initially the Vive first came out, was one of those games that actually felt like a complete product. There is a whole game in here. There is a kind of a story mode, if you will, that sort of guides you in from that intro scene. And you basically go from rookie up further in the ranks. And even the first sort of 5 or 6 levels start off quite simple, and then sometimes you will repeat the same level where there's no sort of guidance. You just have to listen to the aircraft coming in, telling you what they want and what they don't want, etc, etc. And the difficulty, especially with the airport one, I thought was brilliant, because there was so much traffic coming in and out that needed to get rid of baggage, that needed to refuel and repair. It really was quite good.
I'm on fire.
Believe it or not, even though the actual first-person aspects of this game are really brilliant, the first time you do them and you get the hose pipe, it's like, wow. I actually find after... Oops. Sorry, guys. Just crashed that into the aircraft carrier. I actually found after a while that they kind of broke up the enjoyment of the game. It's like, no, it becomes one of those. But that might just be me. I rather prefer the strategy side of it later on when the difficulty ramps up, rather than having to keep doing these first-person aspects.
Launch those drones on the aircraft carrier.
What strikes me about this game is can you imagine if there was an RTS game? Imagine if you took Battlefield 4, scaled down the world, and had like an RTS element to it, you know, bringing in Humvees, Jeeps, Bradleys, aircrafts, and it was not so much co-op, but say multiplayer over a wide sort of table. You were stood on one side as a commander, and there was somebody else on the other side. That would be absolutely amazing in VR, because you basically are the commander mode from like Battlefield 2, overseeing it, dropping in supplies for your troops, etc, etc. Sort of a real RTS stroke FPS, if that makes sense, where you're not actually playing the FPS. Or even if they could integrate virtual reality into a first-person game, so that the rest of the PC community is playing as a first-person shooter, you have the ability, even if it was simplified graphics like this, to overview and drop in airstrikes, calling transport helicopters. That would just be absolutely
we need coordinates
amazing.
for the down pilot.
I'm hit! My engine's on fire!
Here we go. Thanks, Foxback. The water's nasty today. I think I saw a shark.
Final Approach is another one of those games where if somebody's never played virtual reality before, it's another one of those what I would call safe VR games. You're not going to get motion sickness in this game, and sometimes when the aircraft are actually buzzing around your head, it's really quite cool. It actually feels like they're right in front of your face, and this is part of the first-person aspect. Again, very, very cool. Jesus, how big are they? It is really cool the first time you do it, and somebody who hasn't played VR, their mind will just explode when they get to see this. Just the freedom of the tracking, which we all know is incredible on the Vive. It's one of those games where you can throw them in. Job Simulator is another one. The Blue, Water Bears, all very safe VR titles. But this really is quite nice, and once you get up close, there's quite a lot of detail on these aircraft and little people running around and that. I tend to play this probably for 10-15 minutes. I might do one level now and then. It doesn't keep my interest enough to make me want to keep playing for hours, let's put it that way, or more than say 20 minutes. But again, it's another one of those, if somebody comes around and they want to try VR, this is one of the games I'll put on, because as soon as people see their actual hands in VR, it's like, wow! And I still, believe it or not, get that same reaction with the hands in the gallery called Starseed, which is one of my favourite VR games, up there with Vanishing Realms, definitely. And I think I will be doing a video at some point on my top 5 Vive experiences from having the Vive for nearly 2 months now, possibly. So that may be a video that I will do.
Thanks for the help, Tower. You may want to get back there. Something's happening.
This is Vulture Squadron. We're on the carrier deck ready for takeoff. Whenever you're ready, Tower.
I know they would never, or could really put this into the game, but if you could do airstrikes, bombing runs on Afghan villages and all that sort of stuff, oh my god, that would be brilliant. If many of you don't know, I actually, I'm a founder and a backer for a game called Squad, which is a military shooter game, which you have to play on a monitor, which is really strange for me now because I've been playing that much in VR. Trying to go back to a flat screen now is really quite difficult. Yeah, the graphics are sharper, the resolution's awesome.
Use the right trigger to fire
there's just something about VR that you want to keep coming back to, even with its jaggy low-res hell sometimes that we go through with the Vive. So I really do enjoy my military games, and I hope there are some serious games coming out rather than this constant sort of kiddie cartoony aspect, which I realise that they probably do to try and sell more copies of the game because VR is very new, but I hope VR matures somewhat the further down the road we go.
The left trigger will fire the 50 cal. Be careful, machine gun overheat.
Not the easiest thing to aim with. You actually have to aim with your eyes, and then the two triggers, one is the 50 cal, the other one is a homing missile, but you want to get so many by the looks of it. So yeah, not bad at all.
Tower, we have engineers ready to be moved from the carrier to the Independence. If you could give us our pickup coordinates, we'd appreciate it.
Or drones. While Foxbat brings us those engineers, maybe you could come run the guns.
Not quite sure if there's really enough game here to warrant a kind of playthrough. I may do the odd complete level, maybe once, maybe once every 2 weeks, something like that, because the chances are that if you're interested in this game, you've probably already got it. So I would be interested to know anybody who's got this game. How long did it keep your interest for? And how long did you keep playing for each time you came on? And is the game going to get a lot more difficult? Because at the minute it's not really that difficult to get 3 stars. I just don't know whether there's any real challenge in it, to be honest with you, or whether this being my first military mission, it's still guiding me by the hand. That's interesting to know. If any of you played it, do let me know, because as I said, I do like the game. It's enjoyable. It's just not enough in here to warrant me coming back and wanting to play it all the time. Looks like I'm trying to actually rescue the sharks here instead of the people drowning. The fact that I'm throwing them in and they're not even attempting to try and get to the rubber ring. Well, drown, I'm sorry. There you go. I'm trying to pick him up. There we go. Anyway, guys, that's going to come to the end of this video. I've been Paraplayers VR, and this has been Final Approach on the HTC Vive. Again, no point me actually giving it a review because I've noticed some people disagree with my comments, and I've had a few horrible tourags sending me messages saying I wasted their money. Not at all, not at all. I'm only going by my experience, and if I like this game, I'll tell you, and if I think it's rubbish, then I'll tell you it's a load of shabba. It's not my problem if you have a different opinion to me. That's what makes us human. It's what stops us swinging in the trees like monkeys. So, thank you very much. I don't know where I'm going with the rest of the conversation, but you know what I'm saying. Try these games. If you don't like them, you can always get a refund on Steam. I can only tell you if I like it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and all that rubbish. And I'll see you in another video real soon. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.